So, as summer vacation season quickly approaches, at-home vacations popular. Who better to turn to? Jon Montgomery, Olympic gold medal winner and host of the Amazing Race Canada. Good morning, Jon. How you doing?
I'm well, thank you for having me. How are you?
I'm doing great, pal. Is there a place in Canada that you haven't been to?
I haven't been to, let's call it the polar north. I haven't been to the North Pole, but we argue over who owns that anyway. So let's just say I've been everywhere.
So obviously you travel for work with Amazing Race Canada, but you like doing it with the family too?
It's ingrained in the DNA. I think as Westerners, as Canadians in general, you got to go a bit of a distance sometimes to play a hockey game, see a relative, enjoy Christmas with grandma. So you have to have the ability, the interest, and the desire to get out there on the open road and explore our own backyard. So I come by it honestly.
Okay, so we're looking at some pictures here now. Are you an RV guy?
Yeah, I am now.
Take us through. Who's the crew here?
When we were young, and so the motorhome is a new tool in the arsenal. But I grew up with a trailer.
With the trailer. Okay, so we're looking at some. These are some of the family pictures, I guess, here, right? Are these your two little guys?
That's my three little people, my wife and my two children. They're all small.
Amazing. Okay, so where's some of your favorite spots that you guys go?
Well, we live on Vancouver Island, so of course, like most Canadians these days, we've been sticking close to home. And we've been on the island since 2014. But prior to that, Western Canada was our oyster, essentially. We were always on the road. And I lived and grew up in Manitoba. My wife is Albertan. We live and now make family on the left coast here in BC. So we explore all the time across the western provinces. And then when I was young, my parents had the foresight, the interest, and the capacity to be able to introduce the East Coast to me here. We are at Cape Spear, I believe, or definitely somewhere along that rugged, jagged Newfoundland coastline that, to me, is one of the most special places in our country. And probably because of the people, but also just the fantastic geology, the coastline, the ruggedness of the East Coast. I just love it. That's us here in Victoria.
Well, the past year, even last summer, we do a lot of RV segments, and RV business has really taken off because it's such a great way to see the country. Yep. Any tips for anybody that's never done it before? Like, where do you find out good spots to go, good spots to have a beer? What kind of soundtrack do you choose?
Well, there's an amazing not-for-profit organization in that of Go RVing Canada. And at gorving.ca, you have a treasure trove of resources that you can utilize, that you can leverage to plan a trip, to find inspirational places to go, to be able to connect with outfitters, places and people's campgrounds. It has all the trip building tools that one would require in modern digital age to be able to take you on the road safely, confidently, and knowing maybe where you're going to be ending and getting to, as opposed to just flying by the seat of your pants like we have historically done when getting out on the open road. You can now be planned.
Favorite road trip tune? What do you got?
Oh, there are too many to count, but one of the ones that really, I guess, opened up my mind to the vastness that is country was one that was at a formative age when I was 13, and my family and I, without my two older sisters, which maybe is why it was so extra special, because I was hanging with mom and dad for the first time solo, but we went to Eastern Canada and did the Atlantic provinces, and it was just so almost otherworldly, and yet I was still at home. I was still in Canada. Seeing coastlines like this wasn't something that was afforded to a prairie kid growing up in Russell, Manitoba. So feeling connected to these places and knowing that they were a part of my identity as a Canadian was something that made me feel super grateful and super proud to be from the best country on planet Earth to call home.
Amazing. Okay, we have to get to Olympics, okay, because that's coming up in over a month.
Yeah, brother.
As a gold medal winner. It's got to be so hard on the athletes at this point. First off, do you think the Olympics are happening?
I do think the Olympics are happening. I think that as we move further north in these climes, that we are going to have lower cases of the COVID virus, the pandemic. And so I think that Japan is going to slowly, like we are, come out of this at a really maybe rapid pace, if that makes sense. Slowly come out of it at a rapid pace, but things are going to turn around with expedition here. People are going to be getting their vaccinations. It is going to be a safe environment, I believe, for the athletes, as safe as possible. And the world wants this, and I think that they can do it safely, so they are going to be there. I think the Olympics are going to happen.
Okay, they're yelling in my ear. I have to go, but how tough is it for an athlete to train with all the other stuff going on?
The hardest. The hardest. There has never been more pressure on these athletes to be physically prepared for a job. The same as the rest of the world. The moms and dads, the frontline workers are also putting themselves out there for life and death. So to trivialize what the athletes are going through and to compare it to what people are dealing with on the front lines isn't even a fair contest. But everybody's life is exponentially harder right now because of these lockdowns and the global pandemic we're all facing collectively. So pool your resources, work together, be together, and together we can get through this.
Olympic gold medalist, host of Amazing Race Canada, Jon Montgomery, thanks for stopping by with some tips.
Appreciate that. Thanks for having me.
Happy travels.